Aloha, everybody, and hello and welcome. My name is Mark Fisher. I want to welcome you to my channel, and I'm going to continue. It's the 20th anniversary of the television show Lost, and part one I just finished showing you here. This is part one, and I cover my trip to the island where I went to Hawaii in 2013 and went to various different locations on a tour. Got a personal one-on-one tour, and I took photographs and I shared those in part one, and I'm going to continue that here in part two, and I hope that you all enjoy it. Of course, Lost was a great television show. It's my favorite show. I've watched it many times. I love watching it with friends. It's very deep. It's controversial, the ending. Some people like it, some people don't. It's really about faith. It's really about people who are lost, who find, their way. And it's great. It's a great show. I highly recommend it if anybody hasn't seen it. And of course, anybody who has seen it and you're a lostie, I'm sure you appreciated the show as much as I did. The show ran from 2004 to 2010, and after the show ended in 2013, I took a trip to Oahu, to Hawaii, and I went specifically because I wanted to take a tour of the lost locations. And as I mentioned in the part one, which you can go back and watch, this is the thumbnail for part one. As I mentioned in part one, I thought it was going to be a group tour. I paid for the tour, and it was on a weekday. And when I went down to my lobby of my hotel, the owner of the company was there, and he took me personally in his car because I was the only person that day that was going on the tour. So I got a personal one-on-one tour, and he took me to places that other people normally wouldn't go to. I could go to anywhere I asked him to go. And it was a fantastic day, and I had a great time. Of course, the island of Oahu is beautiful. The weather was great. It was September 2013 that I took this tour. And so I'm going to go ahead and continue on with this part two of this, and I hope that you enjoy it. I just want to remind everybody, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Just click that subscribe button, hit the like button. I would really appreciate it. And let's get started with part two. Okay, the next part I want to show you is this was the home base, the camp for the others. And if you've watched the show, you know who the others are. And they had a camp of cottages and on a part of the island that eventually the survivors of the plane crash, find out that there are actually people who live on this island. And this was the place that they used to film where the different people that were part of the others and had been living on the island were at. And this is a photograph from the show, and you can see how lush and green it is. And these are actual cabins on the north shore of the island of Oahu near Farrington Airfield. It's Camp Erdman. It was a YMCA camp, and these were existing structures, and lots of kids in Hawaii would come to this camp for summer camp, and it still exists to this day. And so they took it over and they painted up the buildings, and they got the grass really nice and green, and this is where the others lived on the island, and it actually was a real location that you can go and visit. This is another picture from the show with the gazebo in the center there, and a lot of different action and things took place here at this location. And this is again from the show towards the finale. That's Ben Linus sitting in the foreground and John Locke walking around one of the cabins. And this is near the finale when the place was made to look distressed. This is photographs that I took in 2013. So you can see the same cabins are there. But like I said on the part one, there had been a long drought in Oahu. So, it was not green. It was very, very, burnt out and dusty and dirty. But that was an ongoing camp. It was a YMCA camp, and it still is to this day. I'm sure it's been fixed up and looks much nicer. But this is how it looked in 2013. And again, this is another shot that I took there, and you can see how dried out and all it is, but that's a real camp, and that's a location where they filmed quite a bit of the show. Another photo that I took from there. The next location I wanted to show you was the location of the cave. Again, if you've watched the show, you know the cave where the castaways went and hid, and where the the old skeletal bone remains were at. And I'm not going to go into the show because there's lots of different secrets and things that come out, and I don't want to ruin it for people who haven't seen the show. But this was the location where they shot The Cave. This is a photograph from the show of Hurley on the left and Jack Shepherd, and they're walking into an entrance of a cave. In actuality, that entrance didn't actually exist. That's actually CGI. It's actually a stone face. The interior of the cave was actually shot at the studio interiors near Diamond Head, and I'll show you that studio. But this was actually up. The location was up near the Punch Bowl Cemetery crater near Honolulu, believe it or not. It wasn't even up on the North Shore or any area where, it's very lush and all that. But this is near the Pali Highway and near the Punch Bowl. And this is a photograph that I took. And the way that he had to get to it, he walked me down, my tour guide. We parked in a cemetery parking lot, and then we had to walk down a little road and then past some dumpsters through a little trail to get to this waterfall. This is actual real water running down from the Pali down towards Honolulu, and literally the city is all around us. But this canyon or creek area, it looks like you're in the jungle. And they filmed a lot of the hiking sequences there. They filmed, of course, the cave entrance there, and it's really spectacular to know that really it's right in the middle of civilization where they filmed this. And this is that same area there with the banyan tree and the river running. And I took this photograph here. And that's me standing in front of what was supposedly the entrance to the cave. And you can see it's just stone, but it's just rock, right? And like I said, they CGI'd an entrance where they would walk in and out of, but it wasn't actually a real cave. But that's where they filmed the cave. And a lot of, parts of the story take place in that cave and around that cave area. So that, like I said, was near downtown Honolulu, near the Punch Bowl crater. And I was really, really surprised when I saw that location. Here's some more locations around the island that I took on the tour that we got to see that were featured in the show. Mr. Cluck's, Hurley's chicken franchise that he has that you find out about in one of the flashbacks and flash forwards. This is, they took, that's Hurley right there in the center, and that's the Mr. Cluck's logo that they put on there, but it's actually a Popeye's fried chicken in Honolulu. And that's what they did, was they dressed it up to be Mr. Cluck's, but it's really a Popeye's fried chicken in that area there. And that was in Honolulu. So that was a cool little location there. And they filmed some different parts of the story there at Mr. Cluck's. Okay, this is in Haleiwa, and this, you can see here, this is little, says a smoothie shopper and all that type thing. Well, they dressed this up to be the travel agency where John Locke goes to when he's in Australia. And if we find out, they reveal his big secret. And this actually was filmed in Haleiwa at this smoothie shop here. And I just wanted to show that I'm not going to give away a secret because that will ruin the show for people who have not seen it. This is Rainbow Drive-In, and this is actually a real drive-in. I'm going to show you the picture. This is from the show, and this is when, in the final season, and I'm not going to give away when this is, but basically this is Saeed and Hurley. They go there to get something to eat, and this is a Rainbow Drive-In Kit Chicken, okay? And then this is the real Rainbow Drive-In. They use the real one. It's in Waikiki, not far from the Ala Moana Canal. And they have great Hawaiian food, great plate lunch. And as you can see, the line of people there. And that's where they filmed that scene from the show. This is the USS Bowfin near Pearl Harbor. And this is an actual World War II submarine. And what they did there, they didn't actually shoot the exterior of the submarine there, but you can take a tour of the submarine. And they filmed interiors of the submarine that is used in the show that you don't actually see. They have a fake exterior of the submarine. But this is where they filmed the actual submarine, the interiors. And this is walking up to the USS Bowfin at the time. But anyway, you can take this tour. It's at Pearl Harbor, at the Pearl Harbor Museum, and you can actually go into that submarine and look around if you like. But that's where they filmed a lot of the interiors of the submarine. Okay, all the interiors were shot in a studio. When you'd see inside buildings, inside rooms, things like that, they weren't filmed in real locations. They were actually filmed in a studio where they could create the sets and props and shoot the. All right. The original first season was actually shot in an old abandoned shopping, like a store that was used, and they didn't have the studio set up then. But then eventually, starting I think in the second season, there's a studio that's on the east side of Diamond Head Crater near Kahala, and this is the studio where they filmed most of the interiors. That's the studio there. It's on the east side of Diamond Head Crater, and that big white building, that's the big sound stage where they would, shoot a lot of the things. They would shoot some of the exteriors, like the temple sequence, the big temple that they built for the final season. That was filmed in the parking lot there. And this is a closer up. You can see those were mobile, trailers and trucks that were used if they went on location. But this is Diamond Head Studios, and this is where they filmed a lot of the interior stuff for the show Lost. Now, there was an additional beach location up on the North Shore near Turtle Bay, and I want to show you the pictures from that. We went up there when we were on the North Shore. That's the location there in Turtle Bay from the show. That's Juliet walking out of the water towards the other gentleman who she was having an affair with. I can't remember his name because I'm so old and I can't remember everything. But anyway, so this is up there near Turtle Bay. And again, the same location was used for that's Sawyer and somebody coming in with the outrigger canoe. And then that island up to the upper left, that's a CGI computer generated island. And that's where they would come across, show, when things were taking place on that other island and they needed to get over there. They used this location here up at Turtle Bay. And this is the photograph I took in 2013 of that same beach, that same location up near the Turtle Bay Resort. And if you looked behind me where the camera is, that's where that big banyan tree was, all those banyan trees that they shot a lot of the sequences that I showed you in part one of this series. It's literally behind me about 100 yards. And so they use this location for lots of different things. And there's other scenes that they shot from shows in here, but in the show. But anyway, I just wanted to show you this location. There's a famous episode in the last season about Richard Alpert and his backstory, which is all spoken in a different language and with subtitles. And it was a beautiful episode, and it has to do with him and his origins and his wife, who's no longer alive. Anyway, this is from that episode here, and this is the tree where something significant takes place, and this is Richard Alpert seeing his wife, who's basically a ghost. But you'll see this episode if you had. It's a real tearjerker. It's really beautifully done. And that's also from the show. Well, this is the tree area where they shot this. I took this photograph. This is on the Pali Highway, up on the old Pali Highway, going up towards the Pali on Oahu. And you pull over, and this is a big tree that they used for that sequence. They used it also, here's another shot of it, for many other scenes, like with John Locke when he's first on the island and he's looking for the hatch and things like that. But people will most remember this area for the Richard Alpert backstory. And this is that area. And like I said, it's up off the old Pali Highway. And it's a beautiful tree, and it's a beautiful location. The finale, final showdown location. All right, I'm not going to give away anything, but all you Losties know what I'm talking about. And this is where the finale happens. That's Jack Shepherd, that's Hurley in the middle, and Kate on the right. This is the area where they filmed it. Again, this is down the southeastern part of Oahu. the Lanai Molokai Lookout area, Chinaman's Cliffs, and that's looking over that area there. And they use these cliffs for many things and many episodes. But the big finale sequence, to carry on, to basically end the story, takes place here. I'm not going to recount it here for people who have not seen it, but they take place in this area here. And this is that same area looking in a different direction. But they filmed a lot of the finale showdown sequence here at that Lanai Lookout, which you can very easily get to. It's near Hanama Bay, and you can actually park, and there's a parking area, and you can walk down onto these rocks. Here is the finale. That's that same area there. That's Hurley and Ben Linus. Again, another shot from that area that I took. Then in the finale, there's a whole concert that takes place, which I'm going to show you the location where this was filmed on the island of Oahu. Okay, this is Desmond here with his girlfriend. You all know this, and that's the location. This is a shot from the show, and this is where they filmed the finale concert that takes place. And this is the Bishop Museum in Honolulu. This is where they filmed that whole finale sequence with the concert. And the Bishop Museum has been around for years and years and years. It's very famous. As an elementary school kid on the island, I was taken there because it's a museum of Hawaiian history as well as natural history. And it's beautiful. And the Bishops were a very wealthy family on the island of Oahu. They owned a lot of land. And this is a museum that's named for them. I'm sure they probably contributed the land and the money for the museum. Anyway, this is a corner of the museum, and that little parking area right here is where the limousine pulled up with Desmond when he was, checking out the concert area in the daytime, and that's right there on the corner of the museum, of the Bishop Museum. This is the actual photograph at the time of them setting up the stage for the concert. I did not take this photo, but that's where the concert with Drive Shaft, Charlie's band, was going to perform with Daniel Faraday. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that, but that's the Bishop Museum you see there on the left. And of course, this is the bandstand where they had the concert. And then this is the tented area on the grass at the Bishop Museum. This is from the show time period. And again, this is a close-up from the show time period. I did not take this. And this is where they're going to film the actual big finale concert. And then I took this photograph. This is the actual open lawn as it looked in 2013 after the series. And that's, the lawn in front of the Bishop Museum where they filmed all this. And I got to see that. And it was fun walking around and remembering different parts of the show and where they took place in this area. And then finally, as part of the finale, is the church. And I'm not going to give away anything for the people who have not seen the show, but for you Losties, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And this is Sacred Hearts Academy, and it's in the Manoa area, downtown Manoa area near Honolulu and Waikiki. And it's actually a Catholic school, and there's a church in there, and a lot of things happen there as part of the finale, which I won't give away. But Sacred Hearts Academy is where that takes place, and you can actually go there and see it. And it's a beautiful place and a beautiful location. And then, of course, the show ends, and that's Jack Shephard with Vincent the dog. He closes his eye, and we reach the end of the series. And this is also the end of my slideshow in terms of what I saw when I was there on the island of Oahu. Again, I want to reiterate, if you have not seen Lost, go and watch it. If you have, watch it again. It's a fun show to watch. Very emotional. I've watched it several times, like I said. It's always fun to see, and it's always fun to relive it. You don't even need to watch it in sequence because you remember the characters if you've seen it before. And everybody's story is very interesting, and the acting is fantastic. And of course, this took place from 2004 to 2010. So it's a little dated in terms of the technology, but it's just really, really a well-done series. I love watching it. And I know a lot of people that are watching this video they do as well. I wanted to mention, please, if you haven't already, I'd appreciate it if you could subscribe to my channel, Las Vegas Travel and More. If you like this content, I do other things like this about Las Vegas, about my travels, and lots of fun videos. So I'd really appreciate it if you all would subscribe to my channel, hit that like button, and hit the notifications button. That would be greatly appreciated. And then if you have any questions, or if this opinions, or if this, reminded you of things you wanted to talk about, please go in the comment section. I review all the questions and comments, and I will respond to you. But I really appreciate any comments or feedback or anything like that. And then if you'd like to donate to the channel, as I mentioned before, you can buy me a coffee. Just go down below in the description of the video. There's a link to buy me a coffee. You click on it and just follow the instructions. Any money donated, of course, goes back into the channel, but it's a way, if you want to support the channel, you can do so. Anyway, that is my tour of the Lost locations here on the 20th anniversary of the TV show Lost. I really appreciate you all watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you will watch more of the videos on my channel. I think you'll find them enjoyable. And until next time, I just want to say have a great day, and thanks for joining and watching. Bye-bye.